What's up, guys? Back at it again. Ay, ay. Back at it again, guys, for some overnight runs with Amazon. Our little story time. Um, so I was thinking about some stuff earlier, and I saw this guy. I was stopped at a red light, and I don't think he was homeless, but he was just sitting there with a sign. It was the strangest sign I've ever seen. The sign says, "I don't need help. I just need someone to talk to." I was just like, well, that's a strange place to have a sign, you know? Like, why would you have a sign at a stoplight, like at a red light, just asking to talk to someone? Like, you really, what conversation can you get out of somebody or have with somebody at a red light? I was just thinking about it, and I didn't have much time. I'm in a truck, so I was just like, you know what? Truck drivers stop by everywhere. That's why some people just hate us. So I stopped for a couple of seconds, and I had a couple of bottled waters, and I gave him a bottle of water. And when I give him the bottle of water, I said, "Do you need anything else?" He's like, "No, no, no, I'm good, thank you." And in my head, I was just like, "Wait, so you're not gonna ask me for money?" Hey guys, for the people joining, it's story time. I met this guy at a red light, and it was the weirdest conversation ever. So he doesn't ask you for money, anything. I gave him two bottled waters, and he just randomly just said thank you. I said, "You don't need anything. You good?" I'm waiting for him to say, "Can you spare a couple of bucks?" Said hi, hello, how are you? So I'm waiting for him to say, "Hey, can you spare a couple of bucks? Can you give me some coins, some just something?" But he never asked for money. So I asked him. I said, "Let me ask you something. What's up with that sign you have that says you don't want money, you just want someone to talk to?" Hey, how are you, Lewis? Um, the guy says, "Yeah, I've been going through a lot of stuff lately, and I was at home." When he said at home, I was just like, "Huh? Wait, what? At home? So why are you at a stoplight? Why you don't go home?" That just came to my head, and he's like, "No, I was just at home, and I was having these thoughts that I need help. I need mental help. My head isn't where it's supposed to be." And I said, "Well, why don't you, get some help?" He said, "Well, I would get some help, but I don't want help. I just want opinions. I want to see who says what, and the best place to find random people is at a stoplight, especially when you have a sign like this." I'm like, "But I don't understand. I don't. Hey, how are you, Lisa Williams?" Um, I just said, "I don't understand. What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, I just want somebody to hear me out." I said, "But you're at a stoplight. Who's gonna hear you out at a stoplight? You're literally the light changes every 10, 15 seconds." He's like, "That's the point. I don't want to have a full conversation with anyone. I just want to start a conversation with someone, then not finish it, go on to somebody else, and keep having different conversations just to clear my head." I'm like, "Bruh, that is the wildest thing I've ever heard." So you're telling me, mind you, I'm holding up traffic just to have a 1 second conversation with this guy. And he's just like, "Yeah, I don't want to have a full conversation with anyone." We're back, guys. Okay, yeah, we're back. So I was just talking to him. He said, "That's the point. I don't want to have just a conversation with one person. I want to speak to different people because that's going to put a different perspective of just having different conversations." everyone is gonna have a different opinion. Everybody's gonna have different suggestions. You're gonna tell me something, and the conversation can be an hour long. You're gonna give me 5 minutes. Someone else will give me another 5 minutes, and everyone's just gonna have a different point of view. I'm just like, well, that's the point of life. Everybody has different point of views. Everybody is different. Nobody's the same. He's like, yeah, well, that's the thing. That's how you build a full conversation. Just having different conversations with people, and at the end of the day, it's about you. It's about your summary from that conversation. You spend the hour talking to 10 people. You give each person 10 minutes. At the end of that hour, you put all those 10 people's conversations you've had into a summary, and it'll be stronger. It'll be a stronger summary than just talking to one person. I was just like, wow, that just put a different perspective in my head. That just, I'm still thinking about it. Um, and it's just the fact that it's like, to me, it's just like, okay, I can sit down and talk to one person, but it's better off if you just build a full conversation with different people just to get a different perspective. Because one person can tell you something you want to hear. Two, three people can tell you something you want to hear, but at the end of the day, when you're talking to 10 people, somebody's gonna be honest with you. Somebody's gonna tell you what you don't want to hear. I was just like, wow, okay, that cleared my head, and I was that was literally like a 3 4 minute conversation. I would have liked to sit down and just talk to him and just see what was in his head, what he was thinking about, or just what was going through his mind. Um, just I was just curious because we're all going through stuff in life. Mental health is serious, and sometimes we just don't know how to communicate. We don't know how to say certain things that we don't. We're not very good at. If we fuck up, we don't take accountability for our fuck ups. We find a way to blame it on someone else. We find a way to just dig ourselves out of the hole instead of just saying, okay, what did I do? First, you gotta take accountability. Say, hey, you know what? I fucked up. Because sometimes life is easier when you just admit you fucked up. If you admit it, like an hour-long conversation of you trying to lie and just find different things to say can turn into like a 2 minute conversation. It's like, hey, I fucked up. Now what do we do? Now we just look for a solution. Don't sit there and try to explain the unexplainable. You get what I'm saying? Like, you fucked up. Okay, you fucked up. That's it. Now, you admit you fucked up. So now what we do is we move forward. Okay, what are we going to do now? Are we going to figure it out? Are we going to. What are we going to do? And that's the best part. What your pet name do? My pet's name is Blue. Hey guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Like, share. Thank you for joining. I'm having a little story time. Um, doing an Amazon run, 53-foot trailer. It's very dark, so you really can't see much here. Um, you can only see as much as my lights light you, and the car is on the oncoming traffic on the other side. So yeah, sometimes you just gotta take accountability, and I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, and it's very complicated just to sit there and say, you know what, I fucked up. I did this, I did that, because of we just think about the shutting off. We just think about the consequences of what will happen, if we mess up. But it's like you know what? Let's, take accountability for your fuck up and let God deal with the things you can't control. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's it. You fucked up. Admit it. Don't try to hide it. Don't lie. Whatever it is in life, if you mess up, just take accountability. Don't try to find ways to save yourself. Because trying to save yourself, you just dig yourself a deeper hole. So just say, hey, I'm grown. I messed up. What can I do now? How can I move forward? What do I have to do to change whatever it is? What do I have to do for whatever it is? I don't know. Um, yeah, it's we all go through stuff. Life is about learning. Life is about you know um, at some point in life we're all gonna fail. You know, and failing is part of life. Failing. So I heard someone actually say once, when you fail, you're actually succeeding. What does that mean? Okay, it means the following. If you fail, it means you're trying. If you don't try, you can't fail. So if you're trying, you're doing what you're supposed to. Just never give up. You know, push as far as you can, push as long as you can, and try to reach your goal. Because usually there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So I tell a lot of people, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and if you're not ready to make it to the end of the tunnel, then you're not worthy of what the light brings, of what's on the other side. Because you got to remember, you go through a tunnel. The tunnel can get dark. The tunnel can, if a car breaks down in the tunnel, you're stuck. Um, just a lot of things can happen on the road to success. You just you gotta stay positive. You gotta have patience. Patience is key, um, and just trust. I can tell you, I've been up top, running a trucking business. I've been up top with 6, 7 trucks, making X amount of money, and from owning 7 trucks and having 7 drivers, to now I only have 2 trucks. I was at home for I opened up a trucking company 3 years ago, and I was at home for like 2 years, just running a business out of my house. I wouldn't go anywhere. I would just stay home with my family. And now I'm back to work because I lost a lot of trucks. When I mean I lost, the engine went bad on one. I lost the clutch on another. Um, the others were, things were happening to them, so I just decided to sell them before, it was too late. So it's never be scared to start from zero. Starting from zero can sometimes help, can freshen your mind. Just know what you're doing. Have your goal. Have your end goal. You know, if if you're successful and you have goals, and down the road, those goals just you you manage to mess up. You manage to destroy whatever you have left. That's fine. If you got to go back down to zero, that's fine. Just as long as you have that goal, just don't give up. Do not give up. Go for it. Don't stop. Go for it. Just have a goal. One of the things that messed me up was before I started running a business, I I didn't have goals. I just I took my day one day at a time, and then I started building goals, and little by little, I accomplished these goals. But then comes a point in life where you just you you accomplished all your goals, and now it's like, what next? So as you're thinking what next, you're thinking about what's my next goal, and sometimes you freeze up. You don't know what's your next goal. You don't know what you have to do. You don't know what's next, and you start to lose interest. You start to just the hunger you had, the fire you had. You just it starts burning out. You just start giving up, and that's the issue. You know, um, have goals in life. Have long-term goals. Have short-term goals. When your short-term goals you've accomplished them, you go after your long-term goals. Just have goals that give meaning, that give purpose to your life. And I can tell you because I'm not perfect. I wish I was. And right now I'm going through some personal stuff where it's rough. I don't know if I can be, if things will ever go back to how they were. But I can say that I assume the responsibility of my actions. I don't need to lie. If you mess up, accept it. You messed up. Be honest about it. Don't try to lie. Just accept it because what God has for you, no one can change and no one can take away. So, that's just part of life. Um, and yeah. So, thank you guys for listening. The ones who joined, the ones who came in and left. Um, I will see you next time. And yeah, maybe next time we can do a 24-hour live. Just keeping, just pushing. Pushing, 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 seeing what we can get out of this. Um, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys on the next time.